This is how God will test you before He blesses you. One of the greatest mysteries of faith is that often, before we receive the blessings we're waiting for, we face tests and trials. This isn't because God wants us to struggle or suffer, but because He uses these times to refine us, to strengthen our faith, and to prepare us for the blessings He has in store. Think of a precious metal, like gold. Before it shines, it must go through fire to be purified. In the same way, God allows us to face tests to purify our hearts, deepen our trust in Him, and align us more closely with His will. These tests reveal our strengths, uncover our weaknesses, and ultimately draw us nearer to God. When we understand that God's testing is part of His loving preparation, we can embrace each trial with faith, knowing that a greater blessing awaits on the other side. These tests may take different forms: patience, faith, endurance, and even humility. But through each one, God is working within us, preparing our hearts and minds to receive His promises. Instead of seeing tests as obstacles, we can view them as opportunities to grow in our relationship with Him. Each test is a stepping stone toward the blessings God has planned for us, a chance to grow and strengthen character. As we walk through these times of testing, let's lean into God's presence, trust in His wisdom, and believe that He has a purpose for every trial we face. The test of patience. Patience is often one of the first tests God allows us to experience. Waiting is not easy, especially when we're eager to see our prayers answered or our dreams fulfilled. But through this test of patience, God teaches us to rely on His timing rather than our own. The Bible tells us in Isaiah 40:31, "But those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint." Patience allows us to develop a deeper trust in God, learning that His timing is always perfect. As we wait, we learn to let go of control and allow God to lead the way. This test of patience is not meant to discourage us, but to build our faith. When we wait on God, we are reminded that His plans are far greater than ours. In moments of waiting, we're given the chance to grow spiritually, to reflect, and to strengthen our connection with Him. We come to understand that God's delay is not His denial, but His way of ensuring that we're fully prepared to receive what He has for us. Through patience, we cultivate resilience, develop a peaceful heart, and come to see God's hand in every aspect of our lives. The test of faith and trust. Faith is at the core of our relationship with God, and often He will test our faith to see if we truly believe in His promises. This test can come in various forms: when situations seem impossible, when we face setbacks, or when our prayers seem unanswered. Yet it's in these moments that our faith has the opportunity to grow the most. Hebrews 11:1 reminds us, "Now faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see." Faith calls us to trust in God's unseen work, knowing that He is faithful to fulfill His word. This test of faith is about surrendering our doubts and choosing to believe that God is with us even when we can't see His hand at work. It's an invitation to lean on Him completely, trusting that He is both our guide and our provider. Through this test, we learn that faith isn't about having everything figured out, but about trusting in the One who does. When we pass the test of faith, we experience a new level of intimacy with God, and our relationship with Him is strengthened beyond measure. The test of obedience. Obedience is another powerful test that God uses to prepare us for His blessings. Sometimes He asks us to let go of something, take a leap of faith, or follow Him down an uncertain path. In these moments, He's testing our willingness to listen and submit to His will. Proverbs 3-5-6 teaches, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight." Obedience requires us to put aside our own desires and trust that God's way is better than anything we could plan for ourselves. Through obedience, we align our hearts with God's purpose. This test can be challenging, especially when His instructions don't make sense to us or when they require us to step out of our comfort zones. Yet it is through obedience that we show our love and trust in God. When we follow His guidance, even when it's hard, we open ourselves up to receive the blessings that come from living in His will. Obedience aligns us with God's best for our lives and prepares us for the fullness of His blessings. The test of perseverance. Life's trials often come with the test of perseverance. God wants to see if we will continue to hold on to His promises, even when the journey becomes difficult. James 1:12 says, "Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because, having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love Him." Perseverance teaches us to remain steadfast, even when circumstances are challenging. It reminds us that true strength is found not in avoiding trials but in enduring them with faith. This test of perseverance builds our character and prepares us to handle the blessings God has in store. As we learn to persevere, we grow in resilience, patience, and maturity. Each trial we endure strengthens us, molding us into people who can handle greater responsibilities and blessings. Perseverance teaches us that God's grace is sufficient for every challenge, and it brings us closer to Him as we rely on His strength rather than our own. The test of humility. Before God blesses us, He may test us with humility to ensure that our hearts are prepared to handle the blessings He's about to pour out. Humility reminds us that all good things come from Him, not from our own abilities or achievements. In Philippians 2:3-4, we're encouraged, "Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather, in humility value others above yourselves." This test teaches us to serve others, to place God's will above our own desires, and to recognize that we are vessels for His purpose. This test of humility transforms our character and brings us into a posture of gratitude and service. As we embrace humility, we become more receptive to God's guidance and more compassionate toward others. Humility prepares our hearts to receive God's blessings with gratitude rather than entitlement. When we pass this test, we find ourselves ready to handle the blessings God has in store, knowing that they are a gift from Him and not something we've earned. Embracing God's tests with joy and trust. It's natural to feel intimidated by tests, but with God by our side, we can face them with confidence and even joy. James 1:2-3 tells us, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance." Embracing these tests with a joyful heart allows us to grow in ways we never imagined. Each test becomes a unique opportunity to deepen our relationship with God and strengthen our character. As we go through these tests, let's remember that God is faithful. He doesn't allow us to face anything we cannot handle with His help. His tests are not meant to break us, but to build us. Through them, He prepares us for blessings beyond our imagination. When we embrace these tests with trust and joy, we're choosing to believe in God's goodness and faithfulness, knowing that He is working everything for our good. The path to blessing through testing. The path to God's blessings often goes through seasons of testing. Each test, whether it's patience, faith, obedience, perseverance, or humility, is a stepping stone to something greater. God's tests are not punishments but preparations. They mold us, refine us, and ready us for the abundant life He has promised. When we face these tests, let's hold on to the truth that God's purpose is always good, and His love never fails. So if you're in a season of testing, take heart. God is with you, guiding you, and strengthening you. He is preparing you for a blessing beyond what you can imagine. Embrace each test with faith, knowing that God is using it to bring you closer to Him and to the amazing future He has planned for you. In His time, you will see that every test was worth it, and that His blessings are indeed abundant and perfect. So guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. For more interesting content, give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more awesome content. Have a nice day, and I will see you in the next video.